All right, guys, welcome to our Monday Mindset. It is, February 14th. And today we are going to be talking about something that I think is extremely important, something that I've been noticing since I've been doing some of my private coaching calls. And that is, I'm calling this the 70-30 mix in order to get really massive results if you can really do this 70-30 mix. Now, I'll explain exactly what it is here in a little bit, but it has to do with really focusing a lot of your time and energy on action items that can do something or that can allow you to get a result. All right. And when we start to shift on how we think about the things that we're spending our time on, what are we focusing on? How much of that is actually actionable that could get a result? And I will explain on what I'm talking about here and kind of give you a little bit of the backstory on some of the coaching calls that I've done, because I think it's important for you to think about that a little bit differently. And I've had to do this myself. I'm not sitting here saying that I've never had to do this. Salama just reminded me. That's right. Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Hopefully everyone is having a great love day today or happy day. But yeah, so probably tell someone that you love them today. Okay. Happy Valentine's Day. And I should have known that. And I did know that this morning. I remembered it, but I didn't remember it when I said the date. So happy Valentine's Day. All right. So let's get rocking and rolling here. I do have a busy day today. So we are going to jump right into the Monday Mindset here in a second. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. If any of you were watching the Super Bowl, it was a good Super Bowl. I'll be honest. I enjoyed it. I didn't really care who won, although I was a little bit more rooting for the Bengals because, well, they just really have not ever done that well. And I would have liked to have seen them do it, but they didn't. But it was a great game. Came right down to really the last couple of plays that they could have gotten field goal range, maybe tied it up, whatever. But it was a great game. And that's all we can ever ask for. And then the other thing is, we had a busy weekend. We had some beach volleyball, beautiful day here on Saturday. It was my daughter, my youngest daughter, had a beach volleyball tournament all day. She did actually two age groups, 16s and the 18s. And she had a great tournament. I mean, they didn't do as well as she would have hoped, but she learned a lot. She was able to apply a lot of what she has been working on. So that's what's always cool about doing these, which also is a lot about what I'm about to share with you here today, this 70-30 mix, which I think that we all really need to consider. So with that all being said, let's dive in, shall we? I'm going to go ahead and take a quick pause, and then we're going to kick this off. So here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Monday Mindset. If you are listening to this on the podcast, well, we are here doing this live as usual on our Monday Mindset. So if it's Monday and you're listening to this, happy Monday. And if it's Wednesday, well, happy Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day it is, because what I'm going to share with you today, you should be thinking about every single day, every week that you're planning things, that you're thinking about sitting down. What am I going to work on? Which is, again, something I strongly recommend that everyone does, is you pick a day that you block out an hour and really focus on what you're going to be focusing on. So you're going to focus on focus right here. We're going to figure out what we're going to be focusing on for the week, and then we map it out. And then we don't have to think so much. We can just jump into action mode. All right. So today I did want to share something with you, and I want you to think about this whenever you are planning your week. All right. And I'm calling this the 70-30 mix. And the reason why is because I think 70% of your time should be spent here. And I'll explain what here is. And then the other 30% over there. Okay. And I realized this after I've been doing a lot of private coaching calls lately. I opened up some time slots in January. I just opened up some more in February. And I'm really, really enjoying doing these because I really get to hear what are the sticking points? What are you working on? Where are you needing help? Maybe what areas you're spending too much time in. Like, it really helps me help you. So that's why I wanted to do this episode, because this is really something that I learned after talking to so many people and seeing a common thread here. And that's where I'm coming up with this 70-30 mix, because I think that is the ratio. And what I'm talking about is 70% of your time should be working on things that can create a result, things that can be creating a result. So I'll give you an example that everyone can understand. We can read a book about how to get in shape, but if we don't get in the gym or do what it's telling you to do in the book, you're never going to get that result, ever. You can read it, that doesn't translate into running on the treadmill, walking, lifting weights. Okay. You actually have to do the thing, right? You have to do, and the result is going to come more from that than it is from what you learned you have to do. Right. And so what I have realized, and I've been guilty of this, is we all love to jump into the learning mode, right? We spend so much time on learning. Learn. It's fun. It's exciting. We learn new things. But we aren't going to get that result unless we actually do the thing. I wrote a book called The Take Action Effect for a reason, because when you take action, the effect of that is a result, and then that just keeps the momentum going and keeps compounding on each other and all of that stuff. But it's so important. And when I jump on these calls, a lot of times it's like, okay, I'm still deciding on the niche, or, I'm still figuring out what is going to be the best content to create. What are the best keywords? I don't know what the name is. I'm doing research now on what a good name would be, or what's a good, title for my blog post, or what's what's the best way to write email. And then you're not writing email. It's like, we're always trying to figure out the best thing to do is learn something and then immediately apply it. Learn something, immediately apply it. So I'm the type of person that I want to learn something, but then I immediately want to jump in and testing it. Like, I want to test it immediately. And that's how you're going to see if it's going to work. You're going to see how you like it. There's a lot of things that happen when we jump into that. But the problem is we stay in, it's really flipped around the other way. A lot of people are like 70, 80, 90% into the learning, and then the other into the doing, and wondering why they're, after 3 months, still not up and running. We still don't have the website built. And I was talking to a gentleman the other day, real great guy. He's been around, our, brand creators, the amazing seller. He's been to events of mine and all of that stuff. And he's actually launched successful other businesses, but now he's going into the niche properties. And he's like, I want to do this. I want to try it. But he's been stuck on the beginning stages of like the build, right? Like, oh, should I use this WordPress theme? Should I use this hosting or this hosting? I'm not quite sure if this is the niche that I want to go into. So there's all of these questions that still are like, oh, well, I'm going to do more research on the niche, or I'm going to do more research on the WordPress blog theme because I want to see if it's got the bells and whistles that I think I'm going to need. Those are all things that are going to hold you back. And there's things that we don't have to decide now. We can decide later. We just have to get something in motion. And that's why whenever we're building out our niche properties, it's like, all right, give yourself, and I actually gave him this. I'm like, listen, you got a week. Okay. A week to get your niche selected. And then after that, I want you to spend another week getting everything built so it's ready for content. Like, we have a 14-day roadmap inside of our niche properties class, which it could probably be done even sooner, but I'm giving you a little bit of time when you're getting up and running. But honestly, you could get your niche selected and validated and everything in like 3 days or less. And then from there, another couple of days, everything's set up, and you could be publishing content in a week. Like, it does not have to be that hard, but we make it hard because we're always like, I don't know, but we have to get it in motion. You're going to learn so much more by putting something in motion than you are by just learning about it. Right. So I want you to think about that. Okay. The big takeaway here today in this episode and in this Monday mindset is really this. Ask yourself, evaluate yourself, be honest with yourself. Are you a learner or are you a doer? Which one do you fall on? And you might have a little mix of both, which is good. But let's ask the next question. What is the percentage of time that you're spending on learning than you are on actually doing? And I mean doing things like, I'll give you a great example. All right. We just rolled out a brand new training. Okay. And it's called the Keyword Goldmine. All right. It's a very, I call it a micro course because it's 3 videos. Okay. Each one is between 30 and 40 minutes. It teaches one strategy and it gives one thing to do. And that's it. Okay. Now, I created that training for someone that's in the keyword research phase to be able to learn it within 30 minutes, deploy it, and get that thing out there and going, right? But here's the deal. You can learn it, go through the strategy. You can even do the exercise to find your keywords. But if you don't write the article, the piece of content, and post it on your website, you're never going to know if it works. It's not really in motion, right? So think about that. We do keyword research. We find a list of keywords. Okay. That's like step 1. That is an action step. That is something. Now we've got that result, but now we have to take it and bring it to the sluice or the hopper, if you will, right? Where we can actually get that thing or get the dirt there so we can sift it and see which ones are the good ones. Then we find the good ones. Then we have to actually finalize it by putting it in motion, right? And by putting it in motion, I mean publishing it. All right. Publishing it, hit publish. Another issue where people kind of get stuck in that learning and that research is like, oh, well, I need to make sure that it's fully optimized before I actually push send. No, you don't. Get it where it's close, push send. And if you want to go back later, you can. And you can optimize it further later. But you're going to have a much better chance of it ranking and getting you some traffic, getting index as if the thing is live. Okay. So think about that this week. Depending on when you're listening to this or watching this, think about and really write down, is this a learning activity or is this an action activity? Think about that. Okay. Because if it's not an action thing, if you're heavy on the learning and not on the action, we got to flip that. We got to flip it around. And I'm not saying that you don't allow yourself time to learn because we do need to learn, but I'll go in like waves. Like sometimes if I'm up and running and things are just cranking along, I'm not learning. I'm not learning anything. The only thing I'm learning is from the data that I'm getting brought back into me, that's fine. That's good learning because I'm learning from the result that is happening from what I'm doing. But I'm talking about brand new, like I want to learn something new. Okay. Pick the thing that you need the most help with right now in your business, in your brand, in your niche property, and figure it out. Like, what is it? What do I need help with? I need help with hiring a writer. Okay. Well, get that question answered by whatever you need to learn. And then boom, go do it. Okay. And again, the same thing goes. I see this in a lot of different areas of people's lives. It's like, we want to learn because we enjoy learning. It's great to learn. It's fun. Researching, all of that stuff. It's fun. But when we actually show up and it's game time, that's when people are, oh, I'm not sure I'm ready to jump in yet. Let me just go over here and practice a little more until. Perfect example, right? My daughter just got done with a beach volleyball tournament this last weekend. Okay. It's really been her first tournament in a little while since she's been really focusing on certain areas of her game. Like she's picking a couple different areas, working with a private coach and with her club, but a lot of private lessons are being done focusing on one area that she wants to work on, right? Which for her, it's like serve receive. It's like the ball comes over the net. It's a good pass, good first pass. Like that's so critical, right? Working on that, really working on that. Then also working on some shots, right? And she's, trying to work on those placements. Well, she practiced it. She's practicing. So she's seeing the result a little bit, but then to see the real result, it's in the game. It's when you're in a game, you're in a pressure situation, you're in, different climates and different things that being in a game will help you see how things react and how things actually work. And that's when you learn as well, right? But it's all the prep, it's all the practice, it's all there. But if she just sat there and watched YouTube videos all day long about how to do, better passes or better shots, it's great. And she's got to practice it, but then to really see, she's got to get it in the game. So there's different phases to it. And I'm not saying don't learn. I am saying, yes, learn. Sometimes you're learning from your result that's happening from something you just did. But there's also things that you might want to say, okay, now I got to learn this because I'm here. Like if you have a website and it doesn't get more than 10,000 page views right now, you really don't have to worry about anything outside of that. Like if you're thinking, okay, well, I'm getting 5,000, your goal is to get to 10,000 because then we can turn on a media outlet or an ad network like Ezoic and start to see what happens there. Now, Ezoic does allow you to start with zero searches, zero traffic visitors, but my goal is always 10,000. That's before I'm ever going to add any monetization to it, is really after 10,000 page views. That's my target. Now you can do it earlier if you want to, but that's my target. But in the meantime, why are we worrying about how to optimize posts that are only 2 months old versus waiting till they're 6 months old, right? We don't even have to worry about that right now. Don't worry about that. Don't even learn about that right now. The only thing you need to do is continually find good keywords, continually, write content, and continually post the content. Like that's it. That is it in a nutshell. All right. So let's wrap this up. Here's exactly what I want you to do. Okay. And I think we all should do this, and you should probably do this every now and then. Okay. Evaluate, where are you spending your time? And some of you have a full-time job right now and you're doing this on the side and you are limited on time. You have an hour a day, 7 hours a week. That's what you have. So how much of that time is focused on learning and how much of that time is spent on action items of doing? All right. And maybe write it down, figure it out. Or maybe you got to track yourself, track your hours that you're spending every week. Write it down religiously. Write it right down. Is this a learning? Is this an action item? Okay. Or an action growth move here, right? Where we can actually put something in place so we can see if we're going to get a result. Okay. So I want you to do that. I think it's important that you do. All right. So guys, that is going to wrap up our Monday Mindset. Hopefully this gave you something to think about, because I do think it's super important. And a lot of times we try to focus on like the hacks or the strategies, this, that, and the other thing. We also have to zoom out a little bit, see where we're spending our time, and see where we can get a little bit more intentional. All right. And intentional, I mean, like, what are we spending our time on? All right. So guys, that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, take care, take action, and I'll see you right back here on the next episode. Now go out there, get them. Cut. All right. So guys, hopefully that helped you. Like I said, it really is that simple. And sometimes we overcomplicate things, but we do love to learn. Everyone loves to learn about things that they're interested in, right? Now, me, on the other hand, when I was in high school, and I had to learn about history, or I had to learn about English or whatever, right? Like I wasn't excited about it because I wasn't that into it. Now, being older, I'm more into history now than I would have been back then. But if I'm into marketing, if I'm into something like that, I'll tell you what, I'm going to want to learn. I'm just like, yeah, sign me up for that class. I want to see that. But then I have to ask myself, is that going to help you if you don't spend time on the action items, right? On the things that can actually turn into growth. So you got to sometimes pull back on what you're learning and start looking at what you are doing. Salma says, very hard to stop consuming. It is, because you're being, shown, depending on if you're, subscribed to, you're here. So you're subscribed to my, thinking and, my outlooks and things like that. But then you're probably following, a few other people. And that's fine. But the problem is you see, well, these guys are doing this one's doing that, this one's doing this, that looks interesting, that looks fun, that's a hack, this is this. And then it becomes where you're trying to do everything and you're trying to learn as much as you can because it's fun and it's exciting. But we have to really get the blinders on and just focus on getting a result that we're trying to achieve. And it's hard, but we do have to, it's discipline. And it is all about discipline. And do you really want that other thing on the other side? And then you have to decide if, and be real with yourself. you have to be real with yourself. Are you spending too much time consuming content instead of doing in action items? All right. So do that exercise though. And I'd love for you to maybe report back and let me know on one of these coffee talks. Say, yeah, I ran that exercise, the 70-30 mix, and I'm about, I don't know, maybe you're 50-50 right now. Okay. Well, we got to just tweak it a little bit, or maybe you are 70-30 the opposite way. Maybe you're 70% consuming and then 30% doing. Well, we've got to flip that. It's got to be 70% the other way and 30% the other. So think about it. All right. So that's it, guys. That is going to wrap up our Monday Mindset, our little coffee talk here. If you are watching this later on the replay, if you want to jump on my email list where I do send you updates today, I actually just sent out a brand new case study video, which goes through our keyword goldmine strategy number 1, where I actually break it down and show you how we were able to generate over 140,000 website visitors free, by the way, from Google using just this one strategy. And it was a strategy that I didn't even realize we were doing until I looked back and saw everything. And it was 140,000 website visitors just from this one strategy. And that site has gotten over 540-ish, 550,000 visitors in the last 12 months. So it's doing well and it's growing. And this one strategy is, I think, now that we realize it, is going to do even better. So if you are interested in getting that case study, number one, you could drop it in the comments, say I'm interested, or yeah, send it to me and I'll do that. But the best way to do that is to jump on the email list and head on over to takeactioncrew.com. If you go there, you'll jump on the list and then you'll get my weekly emails where I send out things like that free case study, which is around 18 minutes long, I think it is. I shot it last Friday, but it's also going to be one of our lead magnets that we're going to be using in testing. Again, testing, right? We don't know if it's going to work, but I shot it on Friday. I did an action move, right? And then now I think we have a couple of Facebook ads that are just starting to run, and we're going to see how it works. But you see what happened there, right? I came up with, you know what? I should probably come up with a lead magnet for this keyword goldmine and see if it works. So shot a video, got a little ad running, and here we are. Now we're going to look at the results, but something's in motion right now. Something is in play. So now we can kind of see what's going to happen. So I do practice what I preach. All right. So have a great week, guys. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Come on back here Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, and we'll do our coffee talks. All right. Take care, guys. Have a great day. Oh, happy Valentine's Day. See you guys.